Tonight on KVR News, the Zika virus hits Texas. Find out how many cases have been reported.
APD searches for a serial foot stomper.
And see what UT is doing to teach self-defense.
You're watching KVR News, your leader for live, local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live, local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News for Monday, February 8th. I'm Brianna Stone.
And I'm Dani Matias. Thank you for joining us.
Travis County has its first confirmed case of the Zika virus, making this the 11th case in Texas. An Austin man younger than 50 contracted the virus while in Colombia and is currently recovering at home. No mosquitoes with the virus have been found in the U.S., but health officials are taking precautions.
The spread of the virus has also led to blood donation restrictions. The American Red Cross recommends that people wait 28 days after traveling to Latin America or the Caribbean before donating blood to reduce the risk of transmission.
North Korea launched a long-range rocket receiving international criticism and triggered an emergency UN Security Council meeting. According to North Korea's media, the rocket was an Earth observation satellite. World leaders believe the rocket is an attempt to test technology for a ballistic missile. South Korea and the U.S. will determine whether to deploy a missile defense system to counter a threat from North Korea. The UN Security Council has vowed to take, quote, significant measures discussing sanctions against Pyongyang.
Twitter announced that it has deleted 125,000 accounts related to the ISIS terrorist group over the past 6 months. Twitter doesn't allow tweets, photos, or videos that promote terrorism or make violent threats, and depends heavily on users to report such content. The company has come under increased public pressure over the past year to take action against ISIS after ISIS began to heavily use the social media platform to spread its messages. There has been a spike in arrests for the synthetic marijuana, also known as K2 on Guadalupe Street. UTPD reported that 10 K2-related arrests near the drag in the last month. The drug is popular among the homeless community and has brought many of them toward the West Campus area. Crime has also risen in that area, which police believe is in connection with the K2 outbreak.
Detours, construction zones, and closed roads have become commonplace on UT's campus. Will the construction ever end, or will the campus continue expanding? We went out to see how construction sites have an impact at the 40 acres. The University of Texas at Austin began as the 40 acres and has grown to over 400 acres today. As can be seen by the construction on campus, this growth has not yet come to an end.
I was involved in planning for building the new Belo Center for New Media, and that was very exciting. My office was in CMA on the 7th floor, and my window looked out on what used to be a parking lot that has now become the Belo building. I think the only limit is in the Board of Regents' imagination. I think UT will continue to grow.
There are currently 7 projects underway, including the Moody Sky Bridge, Speedway, and the Dell Medical Center.
It can take a decade in some cases, depending on how slowly the funding comes together. We already have property, a significant amount of property that's UT Austin property on the west side of Leona. We're right now planning some graduate student housing to go in that area. The campus has grown from very humble beginnings. That same kind of vision is alive and well, realizing that we needed a medical school here in Austin, and now that is becoming a reality. It's a real exciting time to be part of it.
Brianna Stone, KVR News. The Graduate Student Assembly passed a resolution opposing campus carry, which allows those with concealed handgun licenses to carry guns at UT. The Assembly stated that the bill is an unnecessary intrusion into an educational environment. As of right now, 15.8% of UT graduate students have signed a public statement expressing their opposition to firearms on campus. This resolution comes 4 months after UT students' government expressed their opposition to campus carry in October.
Women in Austin are being assaulted by a man who is aggressively stomping on their feet. Victims are usually alone waiting at the bus stop or on the bus when he approaches them. The foot stomper has been seen on buses near Riverside Drive, South Congress Avenue, and South Lamar Boulevard. Several women have reported these incidents with Austin police in hopes of bringing enough awareness to have the foot stomper stopped. Regarding the recent sexual assaults in North Austin, everyone should have basic knowledge of how to protect themselves. Students and faculty on campus have the opportunity to take self-defense classes. We went to learn what self-defense classes the Aikido Club had to offer. Regarding the sexual assaults in North Austin, everyone should have basic knowledge of how to protect themselves. Students and faculty on campus have the opportunity to take self-defense courses. The Aikido Club here at UT hosts both beginners and advanced classes.
You know, no matter where you are in an urban metropolis or somewhere away from a major city center, it's always important to know how to take care of yourself.
John's Gym in Austin allows individuals to take private classes for a one-on-one personal lesson on self-defense. The lessons are based off of the person's situation and specific needs. John and his girlfriend Jasmine demonstrated skills to assure one's safety during an assault.
Whether you don't ever think you're going to use it or whether you've had a situation happen to you before, it's better to have it than to not have it, because a lot of the times when you're faced with a situation, it's kind of like, I wish I would have learned. It's true that the assaults that happened here recently in Northwest Austin, a lot of them were the attacker came from behind. So it's important to train everything, you know what I mean, whether from the front, from the back, whatever, but in light of what's been going on, yeah, for sure, we train from the back.
It is recommended for all UT students to take a self-defense class, whether that be on campus or at an outside gym in the Austin area.
Well, I'd recommend self-defense classes to anyone, both male and female. And the reason for that is that the police cannot be responsible for everyone's safety.
Many overlook taking a self-defense class because they do not believe they could be assaulted. Preparation is necessary to avoid possible circumstances. By taking part in your own protection, you will be able to defend yourself and others around you. Dani, Matias, KVR News. Coming up next, it's officially a Lunar New Year. Find out what students did on the ceremonious holiday.
And UT launches a new phone app in hopes of raising success. Stay tuned for more KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Apple has been sued for $625.6 million for infringing on a number of patents. The company that sued Apple, called VirNetX, claims that Apple used their technology to create FaceTime, iMessage, and VPN on demand. The jury found Apple guilty on all claims. VirNetX reportedly makes money by suing for patent violations. Apple has filed for a mistrial days after the court order. Apple customers can now trade in their iPhones with cracked screens for an upgraded version of the phone. The company offers to pay up to $350 for phones with functional buttons without cracked screens, and will pay $50 for a broken 5S, $150 for a broken iPhone 6, and up to $200 for a damaged 6 Plus. Apple hopes to see an increase in users with upgraded iPhones with this new program.
Chicago police officer Robert Riel Moe filed a lawsuit against the family of a young boy he shot and killed in 2015. Riel Moe claims he has, quote, extreme emotional trauma from the killing and is seeking more than $10 million. Riel Moe says Quintonio LaGrier influenced him to commit the killing. Attorneys for the LaGrier family say Officer Riel Moe's version of the events are false. The family says LaGrier called the police 3 times requesting for the help in the first place. A spokesperson for the Chicago Police Department declared that this was not a department lawsuit, and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel said, quote, the city does not support the counterclaim and is not involved in any way. 21-year-old Isaiah Morris was arrested for the murder of former San Marcos student and roommate Francisco Sierra. Morris argued the two were discussing suicide when Morris let Sierra suffocate him with a pillow. Morris then reacted by pulling out his gun and shooting Sierra in the head. It is unclear if Sierra was suicidal or not. Morris was charged with first-degree murder and is being held on $1 million bond.
Phone applications seem to be the best way to connect students here at UT. A new app called Thrive at UT was created by the Counseling and Mental Health Center and supported by the Department of Educational Psychology. Thrive at UT aims to increase student success and well-being by exploring a variation of topics such as community, mindfulness, and self-compassion. UT student Gustavo Molinar was a part of the development phase and believes students could highly benefit from what the app has to offer.
It definitely does have an appealing sense of from the app because it's unique in the sense that students can go in and customize notifications, and then students can also interact as much or as little as they can. And it also has content that has never really been in an app or in a mobile setting.
Today officially marks the beginning of the Lunar New Year. Our Ashley Sal went to see how UT students celebrated this holiday.
Last Thursday, students celebrated the Lunar New Year, an East Asian holiday marking the beginning of the lunar calendar. Each year corresponds with an animal from the Chinese zodiac. 2016 is the year of the monkey. The event was hosted at the SAC and included food, Asian traditions, and booths sponsored by Asian cultural clubs. For the past 5 years, the number of Asian American students enrolled at UT has been steadily increasing. During the fall of 2015, they comprised 17.2% of the student body compared to 15.1% in 2011. However, over 60% of international students at UT come from Asian countries, a majority of whom are from China and Korea.
Our goal for this, event is to just have an event so freshmen or any other Asian student on campus could come and enjoy New Year here in the U.S. as well as their hometown.
The celebration was hosted by Campus Events and Entertainment alongside the Asian American Culture Committee, both of which are housed in the Student Union.
And so I think it's really our obligation to provide the opportunities and resources to students to be able to express themselves.
UT President Gregory Fenves made a surprise appearance at the event and explained the importance of learning about other cultures.
Well, all our students are going to become leaders, and understanding the world and different parts of the world and cultures is an important part of education.
Ashley Tull, KVR News.
Last month, James Penbaker was named the Executive Director of Project 2021, a program created to develop next-generation undergraduate programs. The project will focus on creative, innovative teaching methods throughout hybrid and online classes. They have a positive effect on students. One example is the liberal arts and technology services that facilitates digital learning. Dr. Penbaker explains the benefits.
Students learn more quickly. We have daily quizzes, and we know that daily quizzes are very effective for learning. We know that students actually learn more in this kind of class than a traditional class.
Austin Area Representative Roger Williams says the federal government should stop spending money on unused buildings and instead sell them. According to the national government, there are about 735,000 and 900,000 unused buildings around the nation. More than $1.5 billion are spent to maintain these vacant buildings, money that Williams believes should be used to, quote, tax revenue for local communities. Williams believes that investing this money can also increase businesses, growth and around the nation and help fund roads and bridges.
Most Austinites will have to wait years to access the super fast 1 GB Google Fiber internet service. Since Austin launched its announcement 3 years ago, Google Fiber has focused on parts of South Austin and downtown. The company has laid miles of cable to build a network from scratch and has still only even hit the surface of serving those regions. In the meantime, local competitors such as AT&T, Time Warner Cable, and Grande have initiated efforts to offer faster internet to try to keep up with the emerging competition. So temperatures this weekend were mixed with a bit of heat and some cool breezes.
There was definitely a few moments where we could feel those chills. Hopefully we'll see some consistent temperatures this week. Our Cecilia Gonzales is live in the Weather Center. Ceci, how's the weather looking for us?
Well, those sunny skies will still be sticking around this week, but we might see those temperatures drop. I'll have more on this after the break.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Welcome back to KVR News. Keep your jackets on because this week's going to be sunny but a little chilly. Today we saw a high of near 64 degrees with clear and sunny skies. Perfect weather for enjoying the Super Bowl weekend. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 69 and a low of 41 and promises of more sunny skies. Wednesday's weather will have a high of 74 and a low of 49. Thursday will be similar with a high of 77 and a low of 50. Friday will continue the nice breezy weather with a high of 75 and a low of 49. Warmer temperatures will peak midday Wednesday and Thursday, so find some shade and keep cool. It's not spring weather quite yet, but it'll be cool enough to enjoy some time outdoors. Live in the Weather Center, Cecilia Gonzales, KVR News.
Thanks, Ceci.
College's press box Jordan Sanchez will be in the studio to talk Longhorn sports after the break. Stay tuned.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm College Press Box's Jordan Sanchez. Texas men's basketball team took on Texas Tech this past Saturday, where the Horns gained their 16th win of the season. Let's go to the Irwin Center for the highlights to see what happened in this Big 12 conference matchup. Texas senior Javon Felix made his presence known early in this, and counting for the Longhorns' first 8 points as he hits a 3 from the wing. Texas up 9-8. Red Raiders' Justin Gray gives it up to Devontae Williams. Williams is coming off of a game-winning layup against Oklahoma State as he Euros his way here for an easy bucket. Future of Texas basketball got involved as Karen Roach dishes it to Tevin Mack in the corner for 3. Texas is up 29-26. However, Williams and Gray are at it again, this time Williams dropping the dime to the 6'6 forward. DeMarcus Hollins will jump the passing lane as he heads down for an easy two-handed slam. Texas is up 50-41 in the second half. Tech would not go away though as they hit a 3 from the wing to bring themselves within 9. This would not come back to haunt Texas though, as junior Isaiah Taylor throws the rock up to Karen Roach, who slams it down to seal the deal for the Horns. Texas will go on to win by a score of 69-59 and improves to 7-3 in conference play.
Well, Jordan, under the AP poll released today, the men's basketball team is ranked 24th in the nation. And right now, the Horns are away in Norman, facing number 3 ranked Oklahoma. What's the update on tonight's game?
Yeah, so at the Red River rivalry, it's actually half right now. Texas is up 31-22. So shocking, Kendall Yancey has 13 points, and he's shooting a staggering, perfect 100% from the field.
Well, that's great to hear. Hopefully the Horns can keep it up and take home the win. The Denver Broncos walked away with the victors of the Super Bowl 50 last night. The Broncos' strong defense held off Cam Newton's dominating offensive play. However, today, football fans are asking the bigger question, was this Peyton Manning's last NFL game? Do you think the future of the Hall of Fame QB will continue or will he retire?
You know, when asked last night, he talked about his coach, Tony Dungy, and Tony said, don't make a decision in the heat of the moment. And I think Peyton's going to sit back, reflect on his career, and see everything that he has done and he's accomplished. He just won his 2nd Super Bowl. What better way can you go out to continue your, to put an end to your Hall of Fame career?
Well, whatever he decides, I'm sure his fans will be right with him in that step. All right, well, thanks for being here, Jordan. It's great having you on KVR News. And now our Luqman Adeniyi has your entertainment news. What's the latest on celeb news, Luqman?
Thanks, Brianna. Well, Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Beyonce take the stage at the Super Bowl halftime show. And Beyonce debuted her new song and music video this weekend, and Larry David hostess at SNL. Or was it Bernie Sanders? I'll have all this after the break.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Wait, that Well, in case you didn't know, Beyonce runs the world. The celebrated artist reigned supreme over the weekend when she dropped her surprise new single, Formation. She released the music video the same day and was met with some praise and controversy. While most fans appreciated her stand against racism, sexism, and police brutality, there are those who were outraged. Some people even called for a boycott of the singer. They claimed the video furthered anti-police rhetoric. Beyonce has responded to the criticism by saying that it felt great singing the song and that it makes her feel proud. The singer also announced she will be heading on her first headlining stadium world tour starting April 27th. Tickets go on sale starting next week. And Beyonce, Bruno Mars, and Coldplay were all together for the most star-studded halftime performances. Coldplay opened the show as their lead singer paraded around the stage, crooning hits like Viva La Vida and Paradise. Bruno Mars joined in with a rousing rendition of his smash hit, Uptown Funk. Beyonce then dominated the field with her presence and her new single, Formation. Fans are saying it was her performance that stole the entire halftime show, and that dance-off between Mars and Beyonce, well, that was one for the books. And Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and Curb Your Enthusiasm creator Larry David are possibly the same person. There's been a bogus rumor surrounding the Bernie campaign stating that the Vermont senator is actually comedian Larry David. In his hosting gig on Saturday Night Live, David finally put an end to the rumor. Sanders had a cameo in a sketch where the two played passengers aboard a sinking ship. David argued that his wealth should get him a lifeboat, but then Sanders emerged in his first acting debut and argued that the 1% shouldn't get special treatment, and that democratic socialism is the key. And of course, David revived his spot-on impersonation of Sanders earlier in the show in a hilarious sketch called Burn Your Enthusiasm. Well, that's all for your entertainment news. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates at KVR News ENT.
Thanks, Luqman, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brianna Stone. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News.
And I'm Dani Matias. Stay tuned for College Press Block. Up next, Texas Student Television. Have a great night.